Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It's Damon Gonzalez from Lightbox Sports, man. Happy to be back this afternoon. We have a show, very interesting show, a lot of breaking news going on uh, coming into the weekend. So I got my little cigar here, something a little different on the show. Bringing on a boxing trainer, former heavyweight fighter, very, very good friend, bringing them on the show to get some feedback in regards to the breaking news and what's been transpiring going on. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's bring on King Malik Scott to the show. Malik, how are you, champ?
Damon, what's going on, brother? How you doing, man?
Man, it's good to see you, brother.
Good. This is overdue, huh?
Oh, yeah, tell me about it. It's been a minute, right?
Yeah, definitely, man. Last time
Yeah,
I
we tried working on a project last year
yeah.
with the
Sunny,
Sunny
Sunny,
Liston gig. Remember that?
yeah, Sunny Liston movie. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, we tried working on that. So, champ, listen, as you know, shocking, but then again, not shocking. This news that broke yesterday in regards to the big fight.
Mm-hmm.
Before we jump into that, listen, I'm straight up honestly gonna give you a lot of props. You as a boxer, as a heavyweight that represented the sport, win, lose, draw, no matter what. Listen, a lot of folks they have no idea what it takes to get in that ring and do what you guys do. And for a minute, the one thing I remember last time I actually saw you, and it's funny, I thought about it. Last time I saw you is when you fought. I was in the locker room and I said hi to you. It was when you fought Thompson in Orlando, Florida. Remember that in 2015?
Oh, yeah, big Southpaw Tony Thompson.
Yeah, that's right. When you fought him in Florida, that's the last time I saw you. But a lot of people don't know your first 35 fights, you fought guys that were undefeated.
Mm-hmm.
All 35 fights. You
Right.
didn't want to fight anybody that had a loss.
Mm-hmm.
And that was something I always admired about you, going up in the ranks. And you were fighting guys starting 6-0, 8-0.
Mm-hmm.
Then you went up to 27-0, 35-0, 33-0. I mean,
Right.
you were banging. So, I give you definitely a lot of credits for everything you have accomplished. How you doing, man? How's you and your wife, man? You guys all right?
Yeah, we're good, man. I'm not married, but me and my ladies, we're good. And as far as the fight and like coming up, I think that formula came from Fred Jenkins because it's kind of like what I'm starting to do with my son already. Like I don't really allow him to box kids that's more inexperienced than him. I have him boxing above the level that he's at, and I think that's the way to come into the game because it pays dividends. Like, you know what I mean, coming in like that. I don't think it's a good thing to box or fight literally beneath your level. Obviously, when you turn pro, we all have to build and stuff like that. But I always wanted to. Even the journeyman that I fought coming up, they had previous wins against notable fighters. Like you know what I mean.
Right.
But it was just tough. Probably my toughest fight coming up. I believe I was 5-0. This guy named Luis Monaco. He had like 17 losses, but in his 24 wins, he knocked out guys like James Buster Douglas. When he
Look
was
at that.
Mike Tyson, he knocked out, a few other young heavyweights whose career he ruined because he knocked him out. And I fought him in like my fifth fight. I was trying to test myself, and I beat the guy. But it's just fights like that I remember the most because them are fights that can really take you off of your square. And, it's hard enough getting credit as a fighter in this. So you can imagine if a guy 5-0 loses a fight, but at 5 or 6-0, those are the kind of fights that I was trying to take on just to see was I as good as I thought I was. And, obviously I was because, you know, 27 years going past me and I'm still here.
And Malik, you always been like that though, even in the amateurs, bro. You took it to Jason Estrada, you took it to former champion Michael Bennett. You did you, and it says a lot. And again, man, as a heavyweight fighter, I give you definitely a lot of credit for that. Let's get into it. And again, it's very
Hey, have you
disappointing,
ever interviewed Jason Estrada?
huh?
Have you ever interviewed Jason Estrada?
No, I haven't.
Me and Jason Estrada fought each other at least 5 or 6 times coming up in
Okay.
It's, man, we always used to fight each other. He's one of my brothers in boxing, but we always used to fight each other. And the thing with Jason is, say if we fought 5 times, just how life go. Say if we fought 5 times,
Right.
I beat him 4 times, and the only time he beat me is the time that counted the most, and that was in the Olympic trials.
Wow.
So, like, you can just do things and do things, but when it counts the most, them the times you really have to get it done. And Jason was a good fighter, and yeah. So
Now I'm glad you gave me that feedback and gave the fans the feedback on that, because he's definitely a good dude, man.
mhm.
So we got the news, like I was mentioning, about the Wilder Fury trilogy, and all of this went down, and it's very shocking. And I know for sure you can't get into a lot of details, but I know you have some concerns and some things you want to say in regards, because Camp was
I can get
you guys were
I,
biting
I,
down.
I can get into details though, brother. I don't pull no punches. There's nothing I can't answer, and anything I can't answer, I still know how to answer it in context. So anything you're curious about, you're more than welcome to ask me. I'm not like you don't have to. I'm not one of them guys you got to walk on eggshells with doing the interview with me. You can ask me whatever it is you want, and I'm gonna give you my brute, honest truth, and that's what make good interviews to me. I don't really play the politic game very well. I play the honest game very well.
That's what's up. That's what I'm talking about.
Um,
Malik, so I mean, there's no question Wilder was clearly focused.
he had more focus than I ever seen him in my life, and been around the guy for more than a decade now, and he did everything I asked of him and more. I told him to start creating more. We start creating together. He sacrificed a lot outside the ring, but you want to know what's funny about this, Dave? I had a friend send me a voice message the other day, and he said, Malik, you told me something 3 months ago, 2 months ago, and you was right about it, man. And I was like, well, what was it? He was like, I got messages from you that you're telling me that you don't even think Fury is going to make it into the ring. And
Ooh.
lo and behold, we hear it now with a fight canceled, another Fury title defense canceled. And it's just like, it's because I already don't really deal with mankind that very well when it comes to trust. But when it comes to guys like Tyson Fury, I really don't, because I know he don't give a fuck. Especially once he make his history, I'll never forget he was looking at Vladimir Klitschko across the conference table before their second fight was supposed to happen. And he said, "Well, I really don't have to fight you. I already beat you. So even if you do beat me in the second fight, I already made history, so it doesn't matter." So that's his mentality for real, because anybody that really wants to fight will make sure under these kind of times that not only are you taking the vaccine, you're taking both vaccine shots, because it's a lot of risk. Deontay didn't want to do none of that. We wasn't really with the vaccine type of thing, but we're professionals. And we knew what was at risk, and we didn't want to, we wanted to make sure all our T's was crossed and all our I's was dotted. And for Fury to be, in my opinion, as irresponsible as this, and affect so many people in a domino manner, it just says a lot about him, about his character. Like to me, he really just don't give a fuck. And and to his credit, he's honest about that. Like, this is the same guy that announced a fight with him and Anthony Joshua the day before arbitration came through, that he was supposed to, he's fighting us. He doesn't give a fuck. And I don't get what people have to understand. He tells you he don't give a fuck. He shows you he don't give a fuck. He lies to you. He's not trustworthy with his words. So it's really not shocking to me. I just really feel sorry for Deontay. You know what I mean? Because he's the one that put in all this hard work. He's the one who he dedicated his life. He's the one that, you know what I mean, that really put it all on the line, and was giving us everything he had every single day. So for him, it's a very misfortunate situation. But even under Deontay, you got JD's, you got Shelly Finkel, you got Cuz Hill, you got myself. You have so many people in training camps. Pardon me. You have so many people in these training camps that just sacrifice a lot of time away from their family, finances, um, hard work. It's just a lot, man. So just gotta. I mean, these things happen, yes, but it shouldn't be shocking, because we're dealing with an habitual liar. You know what I'm trying to say? And this is what he do. And I hate that we're in this kind of situation with him. You know what I mean? Because one thing, they told Andrew Ruiz he had to fight Joshua again. They made the fight, and the fight happened. Wherever it took place at Dubai, and the fight happened, because this is how honor is supposed to be laid out. He didn't even want to fight Deontay. Deontay had to take him to court already for the fight to even happen. He had to force him to fight, even though they had a contractual agreement. He still was announcing other fights, basically spitting in the judge's face. Then when the judge said you have to fight, the day before, he was already announcing another fight with Anthony Joshua. And now we're here dealing with this Fury shit again. And, I just don't, I don't trust him, man. He's a good boxer, a great boxer when he wants to be, a good fighter, a great fighter when he wants to be. Everything is done on his terms. And it's nothing like when you're in this kind of shit, to me, with someone like Fury. Because it's not coincidental that, whether I disagree or agree with Eddie Hearns a lot, he kind of, I don't know, the same thing happened with Teofimo Lopez. He has this big fight coming up, another top ring guy. And then all of a sudden he gets COVID. We fighting Fury has a big fight coming up, then all of a sudden 10 members in his camp or 4 members in his camp get COVID. What the fuck are you people doing over there? Do you know what's at risk? Yeah, they do, but they just don't give a fuck. This is how people show you they don't care, not by what they say, is what they do. Because if he cared, not only would he have been vaccinated and took both shots, his whole team would have been. Because look at everything that's at stake. You're dealing with someone that don't give a fuck, and he's very unapologetic about it. And I'm very unapologetic about, just saying I don't trust him. He's a liar. He's got caught cheating with things in the past. He deal with mental depression issues. This is a man that really has some issues. So for something like this to happen, I don't really see what's so shocking about it. It's just unfortunate for Deontay Wilder because he put in a lot of work for it. We all did, but it is what it is, man. You just gotta move on. How life is. What can you do?
Now, what do you guys know? Are you guys stuck in this contract until another date's announced, or can Wilder do something else? I mean, we just saw yesterday in social media, Eddie Hearns was trying to throw out there, well, Dylan White's available if Deontay wants to fight him. Have you heard that information? Has the Bronze Bomber heard that?
Yeah, we've all heard that. And, the thing with Dylan White has been going on for months, but Deontay right now, at this point, he just had no interest in a Dylan White fight. He has an interest in retribution against the last person that defeated him. He has an interest in getting his back in blood. He has an interest in being a 2-time heavyweight champion. You know what I mean? I actually think where his mindset is at, Dylan White would maybe consider to him like, a step down. I don't know if Deontay will be able to even get up for that because his mindset is set all the way up here to get his title back. So then what him and Dylan want to fight for? What, an eliminator, some stupid shit like that? Is the WBC going to strip Fury and make that the title fight? Because that's what it's going to have to take for Deontay to want to get in the ring with him. It have to be for big stakes. And for big stakes, the WBC would have to be involved. For big stakes, the finance would have to be, very, very up to par. And, in my opinion, Dylan White is one of the toughest heavyweights in the world. You know what I mean? He can give anybody trouble any given night. But it's not about that.
Right.
This is about business. This is about when you want something, your mind was set on it, and someone is playing games, and then you got to deal with the aftershock of all of this kind of shit. I don't want to see him fight Dylan White right now. I want to see him get it back in blood from Tyson Fury because that's where our mindset was at. You know what I mean? And so playing devil's advocate, someone would say, yeah, well, your mindset was there. Well, things happen in life where you got to move on. No. We want to move on with another date, like they're saying for October the 9th from what I'm hearing, or September the 15th from what I'm hearing, or October, whatever it is. It's just another date, and that's where our mindset is at. And it's not a thing that's going to break us. It's not that kind of thing. It's just an unfortunate situation for someone that has done a lot of things they've never done before, as far as sacrificing, as far as dedicating his life to the craft, and doing every single thing. His head training myself was asking him to do and more. It's just unfortunate, and it's frustrating. It's frustrating not just with Deontay, for all of us. I don't hear Bob Arum or Fury or none of them really complaining about it. Is that a coincidence? Maybe. You know what I mean? The last thing I heard from Bob Arum was everybody was vaccinated on the team, and everyone should be vaccinated, and everyone is what you know that. Why isn't Top Rank putting their foot on the gas to make sure? Hold on, are all you guys vaccinated, or no one is allowed in Top Rank gym? Are you guys taking the proper precaution, or no one is allowed in Top Rank gym? I wouldn't even be surprised if Fury didn't even have COVID. I don't trust Tyson Fury. I just don't. You know what I mean? I really just don't. And it's not from me just thinking. It's the man show you he's not trustworthy when it comes to title defenses. He just shows it to you. Him and Vladimir had 2 title. He beat Vladimir. Was supposed to have 2 title rematch dates with Vladimir, and it never happened. That's not coincidental. He's just not. Like, he had this thing with us just now. It didn't happen. That's not coincidental. Like, it's just no telling what will happen. Fury could wake up today and want to beat the shit out of Deontay. Then he could wake up tomorrow and be suicidal and don't want to have nothing to do with boxing. This is just who he is. You know what I mean?
Right.
So he showed people who we are, and then for some reason, people still expect this. I don't know what to expect. This shit is just very frustrating,
So as Team Bronze Bomber, you guys are clearly focused no matter what the case is. You got a team meeting later today, and I know you can't get into that, but the one thing I would ask, are you guys going to stay on the pedal?
Yeah, definitely. Deontay, obviously, we're not going to, I'm not going to tear my fighter down. Just continue to beat his body up. We're much smarter than what we look. May take some time off, but even during that time off, we still strategizing mentally. Even during that time off, we still gonna work on things we need to work on. Obviously we can't go. We're not over peaking. Myself, Joey Scott, JD's, Cuz Hill, we're not gonna over peak him like that. You know what I mean? He's in great shape now. We give him a few days off. Even during those days off, he's still touch and go with certain things as far as strategizing and techniques, and we still work on things. But he was firing on all cylinders. And our last sparring session was very critical for the sparring guys. We have 4 or 5 guys in here right now. And when I tell you Deontay was looking his best, and I was beginning to worry about the sparring guys, I mean every bit of that. You know what I mean? I'm talking about, young, undefeated guys that's coming in trying to, make their mark. And these guys came in and sacrificed time from their families. Flew in and out of camp, flew in and out to make sure Deontay was getting ready. So, like I said, just a domino effect for everybody. But it's the type of shit you do when you're dealing with.
Listen, champ, we really thank you, man. We thank you for coming on the show, and give a shout out to all the fans out there that support you and Deontay Wilder and you guys and everything that you're doing.
Love is love, man. We appreciate everyone, like I said, that's on this train. And the ones that's not on this train, we appreciate you too. Just keep the disrespect far the fuck away from us and let us do us, because we still zoned in.
Malik Scott, man. Yo, the odd guy, bro. You're always my brother, man. It's great seeing you.
Love, brother. Thank you.
All right. We'll talk to you soon, and do you, all right?
My man.
Take care.
All right, brother.
Bye-bye. Thank you, guys. That was Malik Scott, trainer Deontay Wilder. Came on the show to clarify a couple of things in regards to the breaking news yesterday that happened in boxing between the third trilogy fight, both fighters. More is going to be developing. Just continue to follow all the boxing news out there. Great reporters out there. Everybody's out there doing their thing, getting some good information, and hopefully we'll get this resolved and see these 2 guys back in the ring. Damon Gonzalez from Latin Box Sports. Enjoy your Fridays. A great night of boxing tonight. Golden Boy Boxing. Action on DAZN tonight. Looking forward to it. Great fight card. We appreciate you tuning in. Have a good afternoon. Bye-bye.